Guys, welcome to another episode of The Pulse. By now, you know what we do. We meet people, we hear their stories, they inspire. Mr. William Stanford Davis.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make sure. I even had notes. They don't say Mr. Johnson. So I'm making sure.
I get called Mr. Johnson a lot.
Do you?
Yeah. People, because they love the show and they love the character. That's the first thing they say when they see me, Mr. Johnson, especially kids.
There's kind of two different kinds of people.
Right.
There are the people who are like, oh my God, would you stop calling me Mr. Johnson? I had a 40-year career. I've been doing this for a minute. Right. And then there are people who are like, I love that you know Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
What are you?
Well, people love the show and the fans, and I live by, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. So if someone calls me Mr. Johnson, that means that they really love the show and they really love my character. So I don't mind. My name is William Stanford Davis. A lot of people call me William, Bill.
Yes, sir.
But everyone that knows me calls me Stan, so because my middle name is Stanford. But once again, if someone calls me Mr. Johnson, that means that they really love Abbott Elementary and they really love this character.
But because you've been doing this for so long, there's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So is it exciting that at this point in your career, you've got that aha kind of moment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at an age where most people would be retiring, and I love what I do. And it was a mission. It started when I was a youngster, and I wasn't going to do anything else. I wasn't going to quit. And so, yes, I love every moment of it, and I'm excited. I'm still excited.
Take us back. You said it started when you were a kid,
right?
And this has been a journey. So was it always a childhood dream? Like, how did you get on this journey? I
come from an era of black and white television, and so I would see Frankie Lyman on TV, or I saw Young Gladys Knight on the Ted Mack original amateur hour. That's how old I am. And we would go out and play talent show on the front stoop for my mother and my grandmother. And so that happened at a really young age. But when I knew I wanted to be an actor, my grandmother used to come and tell the principal and the teachers that I had doctor's appointments, and then she would take me to the movies. A hamburger, a Coke, and a movie with my grandmother. That was a great afternoon. So I would see Sidney Poitier. She would love to go see anything that he was in. And I remember seeing the Defiant Ones, and I had to be 6, maybe 7, and how she reacted to this gorgeous black man on the screen. And I saw how it moved her, but it also moved me. And so that's kind of where it kind of started. And being from St. Louis, you had dance schools or places where people go learn to dance and do ballet and things, but we didn't know anything about where you could go to learn to be an actor. So it was kind of a dream that I kept inside that I'd never shared with anyone. And then during high school, there were acting groups. We had stagecrafters in high school. I was too chicken to join, but I really wanted to do it. So it's kind of been with me, but I had no idea of how to pursue. I had a high school guidance counselor who put me in a program called Upward Bound. I had some bad years toward the end of my high school days, and bad semesters, I should say. And he said, I see a lot in you. I see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And I want you to try this program called Upward Bound. And Upward Bound was a college program for high school juniors and seniors to go and spend the summer on campus. And that first summer, I saw the Negro Ensemble Company. And I saw all these beautiful black people on stage. I'd never seen anything like it before. And I said, that's what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that's what I want to do. And that's kind of where it kind of started.
So you found that at a young age.
Yes.
And just dedicated. And at a time when that was tough to do. I mean, like, you had it in school, but it's not like they were opening doors for African-American roles.
And I always was in some sort of entertainment. I was DJ through all the high school dances for all the high schools. So performing for people has always, I should say, been a part of my life. I DJ'd, I was in a band that was very popular. So being in front of people, that was kind of a natural thing for me. But I kept this dream of being an actor up under everything. It was something I always wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew someday, some way. And once I was introduced to the NEC, Negro Ensemble Company, that's what I want to do. I don't know how. I don't know where. There's no acting classes, anyone. If there were, no one knew how to tell me or where to go. And it just kept that dream. And I decided after being a country western DJ for a short period in Texas.
You just let that slide. You were a country western DJ.
Country western DJ in Texas. I packed everything into my car, and I wasn't going to go back to St. Louis, which is my hometown. I was going to go to Los Angeles and give it a shot, and I got there and never turned around.
But when did it actually start on a journey of a career?
When I got to Los Angeles, I've always been this person that believed that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I call them angels, people that come out of nowhere that you don't know and either save you from something perilous or give you some information that you need to know to take you to that next level. I was a telemarketing manager at this company, and out of nowhere, this woman came up and she said, "You should be in the Groundlings." And Groundlings are one of the top improv companies in the world. And that's kind of where it started. Then from there I got into an acting class, into another acting class, and then a couple of big workshops where they had a lot of actors who were much, much better than me. And that's kind of how, I found my way.
Because a woman at the telemarketing company said that you should pursue
just out of nowhere. I didn't know anything about it. And I went and tried it. They accepted me. And I learned a lot those first couple of semesters I was there.
I feel like that's an inspirational story to people watching.
When I came to Los Angeles to be an actor, I didn't come to Los Angeles to be a teacher or to work at a truck stop or to be a DJ or work in a radio station. This is the place that I thought you would come to work as an actor, to work in television and film and theater. Rule number one, don't quit. Rule number two, don't forget rule number one. That's just the way I've always felt about it. There have been a lot of detours and bumps and, stop signs, but there was no way I was going to quit. There was no way. And when I work with young people, that's the first thing I asked them. I said, "Is this something you really want to do? Because if you really want to do it, you can't quit, If you feel like you can do something else, I suggest you do that, because this is going to take a lot out of you."
Coming up next, it was a career journey, but he never lost the faith.
It's coming. You're almost there. You're almost there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
30 plus years.
Yes, sir.
You've been working pretty consistently over 30 years.
Yes.
It's a fold out bio, with all the things going on.
Right.
But there's a quote that people work all their life to become an overnight success.
Right.
So after 30 plus years of doing all that work, is it fair to say that Abbott Elementary was kind of
That's pretty fair to say. I've had a lot of almost, a lot of recurs. That's what I call the almost. Things that I worked in 4 or 5 seasons. And, as a recur, it felt like, a regular, but it wasn't. It wasn't that, but it made me feel like, okay, this is coming. It's coming. You're almost there. You're almost there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's not a train coming at you. That's the light, And that's kind of the way I've always felt about it. I just felt that something great, not just something good, something great was going to happen. Yeah.
Why do you think that was Abbott Elementary? Because initially, Abbott Elementary wasn't the aha moment. You were not go audition and say, "All right, Mr. Johnson, you're on from now on."
Right.
You even had to earn that.
Yeah. I've gotten to a point, and I teach this back when I was really teaching class a lot, where you have to leave it there. You have to leave your audition there and forget about it. It's a muscle that actors have to develop to really leave, because you wait by the phone, you're waiting for the phone to ring, you're calling your manager, did I get the job, or you're calling your agent, and you have to get to the point where it's just a part of it. And I'd gotten to that point maybe 10 years ago where I was not waiting on the phone. I played golf or go hang out with my buddies or whatever. And when I did the audition, my wife, who's my manager, she said, "You booked the job." I'm like, "What job?" She said, "The job about the school." I'm like, "What school?" You know, it was 3 weeks or so before, you know, and she said, "You got to be there tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay, when's the job about the school?" I went to wardrobe. I went to wardrobe. They send you to wardrobe to get fitted for the show, and the wardrobe lady said, "The director's on the phone and he wants to see you dance." Now, you know, between the audition and all, I'm like, "What do you want to see me dance for?" You know, He says he wants to see you dance. He wants to see you dance with a broom. And so, and I could always step a little bit, you know. And so they gave me the broom, and they had me on the iPhone, and he said, "Okay, see you on the set," and that was it. Now we shot the pilot, and you feel like this is something about this is special, but like I said, some things don't see the light of day. And so we shot the pilot, and you never heard anything about it for maybe 2 or 3 months, and then we saw the first trailer that everybody just got on the phone, where I'm saying, the Illuminati, this is who runs the world, kids. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this could be nice," you know. And I told my wife, I said, "You see the trailer?" She said, "Yeah, I saw it." And I said, "This is nice, you know, they got me in the trailer, but, you know, I'm still a guest star or a guest." It got picked up because of the trailer, of course. It got picked up, and they kept bringing me back. I worked the first episode. They brought me back to the second episode, third episode. I'm like, okay, this is a nice little recurring job. By the 7th episode, Quinta Brunson came and said, "We're thinking about making your series regular." And man, I ran away from her. Actors are very superstitious, and you know, I don't want to do it. She said, "I don't want to do anything to jinx it. I don't want to seem too over enthused about it. You know." But I came home. I told my wife. I said, "Quinta told me they're thinking about making me a series regular." I said, "We got to keep it quiet because you know I don't want to do anything, say anything to mess this up." You know, and I didn't even tell my agent. I didn't tell my agent until it was confirmed, you know, that they were going to do it. And that's kind of how it got started. And when she told me that, oh man, I tell the story. I said, I started crying, my wife started crying, my dog started crying.
Your agent started crying.
We were crying. We were crying so loud we thought the neighbors were going to call the police, you know. But yeah, that's kind of how it all happened, man. And once again, you train yourself to just let it go. You train yourself that no's are just as much a part of it as a yes. It's just a part of the business. Either you get it or you don't.
How much does becoming a regular on an extremely popular show actually change your life? Like, is that
wow?
That's a big.
It's a big deal, man. I mean, no more eating top ramen.
Okay.
I mean, it changes your life in a lot of ways. We talked about it earlier, being recognized every day when you go out just to go to the grocery store or something, you know. But it's put me in a position to be able to do things for others, and that's what I like about it the most. That I'm able to not worry about if I can't make or meet something, but not just that I'm able to help someone if they need some help.
Coming up, so you may ask what's next for him? A big role with Wanda Sykes?
Wanda's incredible in this, and you know, everyone.
She's not playing a comedian.
Yeah, she's not playing a comedian at all. That's what I mean. Yeah.
You were in town in Philadelphia doing some events, kind of giving back,
right?
With Shirley Rao. Are you guys as cool, the staff?
Yeah.
As cool as you seem? Like you're supporting each other off camera. You're on board with each other.
It's genuine.
Okay.
I love Cheryl. Cheryl is we've become very good friends but we also worked on Ray Donovan together.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's generous. She's honest. She's honest to a T. She'll let you know everything. I love the way she enunciates everything that she says. She's just a good person.
Does this level of success,
right?
Does it even surprise you?
I get surprised every day. Every day, it's always something new, something that even being here, this is an example. wow, I get to sit down and chat with you.
That's my wow, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my wow too, And that's a part of it. It's always something that when you think you've it's never what you expect it to be. You expect it to be one way, and it's 20 times greater.
It's tough to ask somebody who's been working for 30 plus years and doing all of these things and a star on a hit show, what's next? But you're also a movie with Wanda Sykes, so there is a what's next.
Yes.
So what's going on with that?
It's a movie called Undercard. It's about a female boxer who was once a champion who falls on hard times. It's really worth seeing when it comes out this fall. Wanda's incredible in this, and everyone.
She's not playing a comedian.
She's not playing a comedian at all. That's what I mean. Yeah, and she is incredible. She embraced this role, and when I was working scenes with her, I forgot it was Wanda I was working with. That's how committed she was to it, and I think everyone's going to be pleasantly surprised.
Next on The Pulse, William Stanford Davis shares his career advice for up-and-coming actors.
I have friends who spell acting R-I-S-K. Be willing to take a risk.
For young people who are watching,
right?
Everybody, especially in the social media society we live in now, everybody wants it immediately,
right?
And thinks that that's the journey to success. I post a couple things, I audition, and now I'm a star.
Yeah.
What kind of advice do you share with those young people that you speak to?
First of all, it's the complete opposite of that. It's hard work, determination, dedication, And as I said before, if this is what you really want to do, being an actor is like being in a totally different race of people. It's like everything about your life has to be about your career. Everything, what you eat, what you drink, clothes you buy and wear, everything about you has to be dedicated to your career. And it can be expensive for young actors too. You got to get headshots. You got to get an agent. You got to pay an agent. All these things that maybe young actors don't realize, but that's just a part of it. You got to love this. You really have to love it to do it. And I try to encourage as much as I can and tell them, if this is what you really want to do, these are the things that you have to do. And these are the things that you can expect. It's not going to be a straight, linear road. It's going to be a lot of curves, a lot of dead ends, a lot of stops, a lot of speed bumps and everything. And you just have to stick to it and study your craft. When I was in acting class, the teacher would come and say, who wants to get up? My hand would go up first, because I knew that I was going to get the most time, because if you got 20 actors, that's 10 scenes that are going to go up. Those other 9 scenes aren't going to get the time that the first scenes got, because there's going to be examples made. So get in the class, be the first one on stage. I have friends who spell acting R-I-S-K. Be willing to take a risk. And a lot of actors won't do that. Take a risk, do something different, do something that no one else is doing. And what's the worst they can say is no,
Right.
and that's just a big part of it. Taking a risk, studying your craft, and making a decision that I'm not gonna quit.
The theme of the show is use your voice for good. So
Right.
I ask everybody the same final question, and that is, what does the phrase "use your voice for good" mean to you?
It means to, and it sounds so simple, to be kind. To use my voice to elevate, to encourage, and to show some kindness, because we need that right now.
Guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of The Pulse today with actor William Stanford Davis, or Mr. Johnson, if that's how you know him from Abbott Elementary. I often talk about how much of a pleasure it is to hear people's stories, but I absolutely enjoyed him talking about the journey, the struggle, the support, and the success. If you want to hear the entire uninterrupted interview, just go check out the Pulse with Bill Anderson podcast, all places where podcasts are available. Thank you so much for watching, and I leave you today as I always do, reminding you whenever you can, use your voice for good, and have a good one.